Global organizations depend on the secure flow of millions of terabytes of sensitive information through networks, within applications, and among partners and vendors. Today's security teams are tasked with protecting larger and larger volumes of data from the increasing risks posed by advanced threats. However, detecting them can be extremely difficult. Often, their most visible footprint is only found after they have entered into your IT network environment. Most security professionals agree that some form of security analytics is essential to securing an organization's network traffic from potential intruders. The traditional approach has been to monitor and collect information from points in the organization where known threats are likely to strike. But when an attack can come from anywhere at any time, how do you decide which process to monitor and which information to collect? In today's advanced threat environment, security teams need to know literally everything about what is going on within their infrastructure.
Both internal and external intelligence are important to organizations, because if you think about it, you can't come to any meaningful conclusions only looking at your own data.
So NetWitness collects all this information and then extracts meaning from it, and then you can apply externally sourced intelligence about known bad actors, known tools, techniques and procedures in use by the attacker community, and apply that to the data that you've collected and analyzed to be able to spot those telltale signs of attacker activity within your environment.
The bad guys share intelligence fairly frequently. And what I mean by that is an example being a cyber criminal forum. Those guys will go in there and say, here's the best way to steal money from a bank. We found out early on that the defensive community, the good guys, can really benefit from that sort of approach too.
If you look at the hacktivist groups, they are so public. It's amazing. You just open Twitter and they're literally publishing their attack right on the spot.
The role of security analytics in meeting advanced threats is to make your security analysts as effective as possible. It's all about getting optimum visibility into your network and gaining actionable intelligence quickly. Capturing the data is relatively easy. It's what you do with it and how fast you do it that counts. With security analytics, RSA has taken an advanced approach to security monitoring.
Actionable intelligence means I have a very serious and important question about something that's going on that may have dire consequences for my enterprise. In the case of the military, may be the difference between life and death. So how can I get an answer to that question quickly?
Application logs and custom transaction logs are a lot richer indicators of behavior once access to the infrastructure has been attained. Unusual trends are going to be immediately noticeable by the application designers or administrators, and you can construct your alerts from those logs or data sources in such a way that you can reflect that behavior, that known malicious behavior or unusual behavior, back at the experts that can tell you that it's unusual.
As the true advanced threats, the nation-state sponsored actors, as their techniques and tools start to trickle down to the less sophisticated attackers, we're going to see more and more of it. So the threat intelligence side of things, understanding what's in your systems and not relying strictly on blocking technologies is critical, because it's an arms race. It keeps escalating.
Inside RSA, members of the Critical Incident Response Team go about the job of protecting an infrastructure that spans 60 countries and more than 500 sites. It's no surprise that the Critical Incident Response Center is built on technologies from RSA. This team of experienced hunters rely on security analytics to give them the total visibility needed to view and analyze security threats and quickly react to them.
Security analytics allows us visibility at the packet level in the network to understand what's coming and going over the wire. That's critical in that the advanced threats try to go out of their way to hide from traditional inline detection devices, IPS, firewalls. This gives us the ability to see exactly what's going on a packet basis, and in turn allows the feeds, the intelligence feeds that NetWitness has, to notify us if any of the network traffic is involved with any of the known threat actors that NetWitness is tracking.
Everyone's going to be attacked in some way. And so when you're in that moment of truth, when you're facing the adversary and you realize they're in your network, you've got to move quickly, because the longer it takes you to figure something out, the more intellectual property they steal, the more they're able to manipulate your systems, the more damage they're going to cause. So actionable intelligence really is the difference between having everything lost, having your lunch eaten in some way, or being able to close out that issue before the damage is done to you. And really, that's where the excellence occurs. That's where security analytics and the capabilities that we're offering here at RSA can be the difference between success against the adversary and a failure where you're going to lose everything that your organization really cares about.
While no one can know when and where advanced threats will strike, we can be certain about one thing. To effectively address them, we must fundamentally rethink our security approaches, the technology used, the type of people that are hired, the skills they have, and the processes they use to improve security. The best strategy is one that deploys people, process, and technology to maximize threat intelligence by increasing the visibility into the organization and gain the ability to detect and manage incidents as they occur. With security analytics, enterprises can gain extraordinarily broad, robust, and timely visibility into the critical information needed to help detect today's targeted, dynamic, and stealthy attacks.